Welcome to Thinking is Contagious. Um, Friday morning, waiting for the Supreme Court to decide on the Texas Attorney General lawsuit, joined by 17 states. But I want to talk about something a little different today, and that is suddenly the media is interested in Hunter Biden. After the elections, now all of a sudden Hunter Biden, it turns out there really is an investigation. Interesting, huh? What ramifications do you think it'll have on Joe Biden? Can you envision this? And then the conspiracy theorists are going to say that I'm thinking too much about it, but could this be like what the Democrats had planned anyway? They're ruthless, they're bloodthirsty, they don't care about collateral damage. And we've always said that Joe Biden was the Trojan horse, the sacrificial lamb, Kamala Harris, the praying mantis. If indeed Biden is inaugurated on the 20th, it'll just signal for Kamala Harris to start eating him and getting him out of the way. And will this not just fit the narrative perfectly? Joe, you got to step down. Your son's under criminal investigation. Your son is under money laundering investigation. Your son is possibly in collusion with the Chinese. And Joe, we don't know how far this will go. This may even reach to you, Joe. Joe, you got to step down. Kamala and the squad, step in. You think that's far-fetched? I don't. I think the Democrats could have been planning this all along. And now they're pushing the narrative and saying, get the story out. How come before there was no story and now everyone's covering it? Now there's a story. Why is that? By the way, how much egg on their face does the mainstream media have for their downplaying of the story? How about Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all of them, shutting down anything that referenced the Biden story? Where's the apology now? Who manipulated the election more than Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube? Who? By not letting the news get out. There's been surveys and polls, poll after poll, where anywhere from 7 to 15% of Biden voters said that if they would have known about the Hunter Biden story, if they would have known about Operation Warp Speed, they wouldn't have voted for Biden. They would have voted for Trump. That turns the election into a landslide. Okay? Who manipulated the election? The mainstream media. Under whose direction? The left. Going that direction, here's another point that I'm going to make. Controversial. And again, I'm going to get all the people screaming racism, but I don't care because it's not true. This is the facts. China's new weapon against this country, you know what it is? China's new weapon is based on political correctness, and it's corporate America's push for diversity. It's corporate America's false narrative of creating jobs. I just saw now IBM and a couple of others saying they're going to create 1 million jobs for African Americans. Others saying that they're going to create jobs for other minorities, Latinos or transgenders or whatever. Guess what that does? It doesn't help the minority because they're no longer competing against the whole playing field. They're no longer competing against the entire playing field. They are now competing for a job where the number one criteria is what race you are or what gender you are. That's the number one criteria. So unless you can check off that box, and by the way, what's the percentage of the minorities in this as the overall population? 15, 20, 13, whatever it is. All of a sudden, the playing field has gone from 100% to 15 or 20%. And then they're going to choose among those to create jobs. It doesn't help the applicant because they don't have to improve their game to the level that they would if they were competing against an open marketplace. But guess what that does too? That's why China, this is China's new nuclear weapon against overtaking America as the #1 economic and political power in the world, is diversity, boardroom diversity, and workforce diversity, and affirmative action. You know why? Because they know that if through the pressures of political correctness they force corporate America to fill jobs from not the most qualified, but the most qualified within a small sector of the population, that weakens the American economy, the infrastructure of capitalism. And that affords them an opening, the Chinese, to overtake. Because in China, guess what? Only the best get the jobs, the top jobs. Okay? Only the intellectuals get the top jobs. They are doing one thing and pushing the narrative in another. And guess who is here? The morons here, like Swalwell in California, like the Bidens, okay? Like AOC, the squad, that they can be bought and sold because they have nothing to offer. And they know that their only shot at greatness, at power of fortune and fame, is to sell their soul to the enemy of this country. And that's what they're doing. This is what I'm saying. You may not like it. It may be controversial, but it is the facts. Okay? Use your common sense and think. This all fits into place. Political correctness, affirmative action, and diversity in the workforce is China's major nuclear salvo at overtaking America's dominance as the world's economic, political leader. And they know it, because you can rest assured they don't have any of this stuff in China. They don't have any of these mandates in China. Just like they don't abide by any of the concerns from the environmentalists, they pollute like crazy. They don't abide by any of it. Why? Because they know that that's a way to get into America's corporate pocketbook by making them adhere to ridiculous standards based on green deals, based on environmental concerns. They're not doing anything about it. They're not addressing any of those things. They're letting the American people mandate through political correctness that corporate America spend a fortune adhering to something that cannot be reached and should not be reached and is not necessary to be reached because it's going to make no impact on anything. Meanwhile, they continue their merry jaunt of taking all their capital and putting to work in undermining America, in hacking into America, and trying to steal the vaccine, in stealing America's intellectual property, and passing America in every way, shape, or form. Liberals, you are to blame for this. You have created this. And all the people that follow like sheep, blind sheep and minions that believe this bullshit. And I'm sorry about the word because, you know, I don't usually use these words, but I'm pretty irate about it. All these people who believe this BS, okay? Time magazine names Joe Biden and Kamala Harris the co-people of the year. For what? What have they done? It's like when Obama won the Nobel Peace Prize before he was even president for 2 months. For what? The people of the year should be the people who invented the vaccine. The person of the year before Kamala Harris and Joe Biden is definitely Donald Trump, because what he did to get a vaccine, he is an American hero, an icon. Lefties, you may not like it, you may not want to hear this, but he will go down in history for having done something that no one else has. He has taken a bureaucratic dinosaur system of the FDA and told them, get entrepreneurial and fix this. He, in Bob Woodward's book, who supposedly, again, you don't hear anything about his book, Just like you didn't hear about Bolton's book after it came out because it was very critical of Obama. Bill Gates' book because it was very critical of Obama, Biden, and Nancy Pelosi. You didn't hear anything about those books. Now Woodward, oh, he's got these bombshells. He's pointing it at Trump. Guess what Woodward's book says? When Trump found out about COVID, January 20th, immediately that day, January 20th, 2020, he implemented Operation Warp Speed that day. So what he told the people, of the American people, that he's being criticized for, oh, he didn't take it seriously. No, what he tried to do was keep calm and order so there wouldn't be a run on the bank, quote unquote. And that is being used against them. The left is lying, they're manipulative, and they're using you as collateral damage. They're shutting down your businesses, they're keeping your kids out of school, and they are making you a nervous wreck and a nightmare. Okay, what they're doing to America. The damage that has been caused to this country by Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, the Squad, Bernie, the mainstream media, by all these people, Jerry Nadler, Swalwell, they're all a bunch of dirtbags. Okay? And guess what? We as people cannot accept this. That's why I hope the Supreme Court comes back and says, yeah, there's smoke here. Yeah, there's fire here. States, it's up to your legislators to fix this. And I hope the legislators have the balls to say, guess what? We're putting our electoral college votes towards Donald Trump. And Trump 2020 is what's going to happen here. That's the best we can hope for. That's what we need. And that's it for me today. Okay? I'm going to be working on, through the suggestion of one of my viewers, which I agree with 100%. Going to be working on upgrading a little bit on the presentation as far as the equipment is concerned, and that'll be in the next couple of weeks, get that done. But in the meantime, you bear with the substandard technology, but I think you're getting a superior product as far as thought, intellect, and reasoning. Thank you and have a good day.